welcome to our podcast, where today we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of one of the all-time greats, Silence of the Lambs. I am your host, Detective Artemis.
And I'm Journey.
And this is Drink to a Decade podcast.
Cheers.
Puppy. Awkward
It's
drink.
weird to cheers with, like, we usually have glass.
Yeah, but I like the gunmetal cups sometimes because it makes me feel like a little edgy. Although I'm not. I'm pretty... all right, you're just going to dive headfirst into that tequila. Tequila makes you a slut, man, and I'm here for it. That's why I poured it in there. It's going to get a little crazy in here.
I like your new haircut.
Thank you.
Yeah, looks nice.
All right, stop. Tone down the sluttiness, all right? Stop hitting on me already. I need you to relax. We got a show to do, man. Okay. Okay. All right.
We are doing Silence of the Lambs, bro.
Yes, it is Silence of the Lambs, dude. It has been 30 years.
Dude, I thought it was 20. I realized my years just completely blended. And
funny enough, 20 years ago was actually the anniversary of Hannibal, which is the sequel to this. Yeah. And the year later, Red Dragon came out, which is actually a...
prequel.
It's a prequel, but they also did it in the 80s, and it was called Manhunter.
Manhunter. Same concept?
Yeah, it was because these are based off of books.
Yeah.
So Manhunter came out first, and then Silence of the Lambs came out, like respectively.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's a
Never
bunch
read
of
the
prequels.
Never read the book.
I don't read books. I need I need pictures in my books. I don't have the attention span. I'm too dumb for novels, as it seems.
I do audiobooks.
Audiobooks is good. Yeah.
Yep. It's my compromise to novels.
Also, if you have it playing while you're asleep, it's like a bedtime story.
I don't listen when I'm sleeping. I tend not to hear shit. So I don't listen.
Yeah,
to
I don't do that
audiobooks.
either. I don't listen to Goblet of Fire. No, that's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
So, what were your first impressions when you first saw the movie? How old were you?
Bro, fuck. I don't. So all I remember about my first time watching that movie, my older sister rented it and she played it, and I was pretty young, and I got bored.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention, and the only reason I continued watching it was because I was grounded all the time, and the only way I could ever watch TV is if I'm watching what my sister was watching. So she was watching the movie, and none of it stuck until the Buffalo Bill part, and then that kind of ingrained itself into my memory. And
right. Yeah, we're all picturing. Yeah, the penis tuck.
Yeah, my sister was laughing when that part came up.
Yeah, and then I've seen you do it before a couple times. Like, I'd walk into your room, and I'm like, why are you playing fucking Goodbye Horses? And then I walk in, and I see it. I'm like, oh, shit, dude. I walked in the wrong time.
Don't you fucking judge me.
You did it really good, though. And fun fact about that moment, it was actually improvised by... I forgot his name, Tyler Levine.
Good improv. But like, hey, you guys want to see some dope shit? I'm gonna tuck this shit in.
How did that go? He was like, all right, so I'm just gonna like play this song and like I'm just gonna dance to it and I'm gonna tuck it in. And I wonder how many takes that took.
I hope only one. Like, dude, I don't want to.
It's like a longer, unedited cut.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about his dick. But funny about that guy, he was actually in the Hills Have Eyes remake. He was the dad who gets he gets killed.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
That's actually one of the few good remakes, I think. Hills Have Eyes.
Really? I really like the remake of it. That's my pinnacle of like remakes. To be honest,
at least chapter 1, yeah, that was good.
Chapter 2 was kind of cool too because I don't know. I'm a fan of all the actors that were in it.
I think we talk about this movie every time we have a podcast.
We do, yeah.
And I don't mind
horror themed or thriller, yeah.
Horror for that horror.
Horror for the gore,
dude. So. How many times have you seen the movie? Like,
oh, okay. So as an adult, and once it came out on Netflix,
okay,
constantly, dude. So a lot of people think I'm weird and creepy because when
that's not the point.
That's not the point. So when I can't sleep, I put on a psychological thriller or horror movies, and they're like, "You fall asleep to horror movies," and I'm like, "Yes, I do." And they're like, "Why?" And it's like, "Well, because the build up, the tone, the music, the atmosphere, it just relaxes me, and then I go right to sleep. And then the screaming just kind of makes my dreams sexier." I used to. So whenever I had like trouble sleeping, I would either put on Silence of the Lambs. My go-to was always Coraline, because that movie's pinnacle to me.
Okay.
But Silence of the Lamb, I would put it on. So I've seen it several times. I haven't seen it recently in the past month, but it's still on Netflix though.
No. Well, we saw it on Amazon Prime. It was on the Showtime add-on.
Huh. I swear I've seen it on Netflix.
It might.
Things come and go on that platform like a lot.
Yeah, so you have all these like outdated articles and shit.
That happens. That's why you got to date and reference everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you still like it as much, or like do you like it more? Do you understand things? I'm assuming you understand things
I,
a lot more.
of course, yeah. No, obviously as an adult, everything seems you already know what human nature is like. So watching it as an adult, understanding how twisted but also ingenious Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal is,
Yes.
and also truly understanding how Claire is. Clarice is scared, but also like you understand how much courage it took her to go through this case, because like dude's a scary guy. But yeah, she wants to be a good cop, and there's that like she's a badass female role, and honestly, I think she's probably the pinnacle of female protagonists in movies.
That's 3 times you've used pinnacle. I'm gonna start drinking now every time you say it.
Have I?
Yes.
Shit.
Actually, maybe 4 times.
I like the word peen.
You like a lot of things with pee.
I do.
Yeah, dude.
Tequila
Clarice,
looks like pee sometimes.
it does. I don't know if that's good. That's good, right? Because that means you're hydrated. You're like the less yellow it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
we're talking about pee now.
We're talking about pee now.
All right. So, anyways, dude, yeah, like Clarice, she was like still in like FBI training.
Yeah.
And they throw her ass like, hey, go in here and try to get this guy to talk, blah, blah, blah. And so after her first day, dude, she gets like fucking jizz thrown at her face by the crazy dude.
I didn't know that was jizz until like literally about 2 or 3 years ago. Like I realized, I always thought he spit on her.
Right.
And until recently I was watching, I was like, wait, that's not spit.
No, it looked like hand soap. So
that's that, and I think if you look it up on UrbanDictionary.com, I think that's called the Spider-Man.
Yes. But he didn't do this.
Or the web swinger.
Something. She got it right in the face. Her first day meeting Hannibal Lecter.
But it wasn't even him that did it. It was
Miggs.
And then the same dude got fucked up by Hannibal. Or
yeah. So after like she has that breakdown in the car, you find out that dude killed himself, and like right before Clarice leaves, Hannibal like gives her information, all that stuff, and he's saying that what Miggs did was unspeakable and all this stuff. He basically like gets revenge for her. So right there, you know that like he has an interest in her.
Yeah.
He sees her as like someone with potential and all this stuff. So they have this sort of like what?
I always felt like it was more of I wouldn't say like potential. I would say it was like she was more of his plaything, like a puppy, a cute little puppy that he just, because it really felt like he was grooming her. It felt like he was grooming her. So I don't think it was like potential. I think it was because you fucked with my kid or my little puppy, my little plaything. I'm gonna kill you for it.
Maybe, but
that's how I feel. I know we each have our own.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I guess, but the main takeaway though is that like he sort of
protective.
He cared for her at least for a little bit after first meeting. And he told her all this information. And he was able to talk to her, like more than anyone else. And she actually broke all those rules they told her to do. Like, hey, don't accept whatever he gives you. Don't touch the glass. And she did all of it.
Well, yeah,
and I think that's what like sort of made him trust her more, because she wasn't like doing everything by like protocol and stuff. She treated him like a human being, not like a test subject, some shit.
Monster, a caged animal.
I guess so. But yeah, so that was cool. And then I like how she sort of like, she rises and like she's scared at first, and then she overcomes it. She pretty much does it all by herself.
Of course.
And then there's like, the whole like misogyny undertones in there, where like all the dudes looking at her like, look at this woman here. This woman here. I'm taking orders from no woman.
Of course. Yeah.
So that was one of her like main goals to overcome.
No, yeah. So that was that was so awesome about the movie, is it's a character development, especially in the protagonist. And that's probably one of the most appreciated things in film, when you can truly get character development. And sometimes movies are about an hour and a half to 2 hours, short amount of time to grow attached to a character and truly see growth. So they did a great job with her.
Yeah, and what I didn't know is that the director, he wanted to sort of make this in Clarice's perspective. So if you notice, when people were talking to her, it's like extreme close-ups of their face.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're talking to Clarice, and like we're seeing it through her eyes. And whenever she's like talking, it's the close-up. She's sort of slightly like looking like not into the camera, but like off. And there was a lot of extreme close-ups in this movie, so that sort of like, you know, reaffirms that it's through her perspective. And also the close-ups of Anthony Hopkins are great because, you know, one of the main points of those close-ups is to sort of see what's going on in those people's heads. And I noticed that, like, Anthony Hopkins, he hardly blinks.
Dude, that's what I was about to say.
Gaze, dude. It was an amazing performance.
I was about to say it, the eyes.
Yeah.
Like if I had to say, most of his performance came in his eyes. You get to literally block everything out and just hear dialogue in his eyes, and it tells the full story of just like when he looks at her with puppy dog eyes, but also then like intensity, the anger. That guy's like best. I think he's one of the best actors, right? Top 5,
right? Yeah.
Where's he on your list?
Anthony Hopkins?
Because you're super picky about your top 5. Where's Anthony Hopkins on your list?
I gotta like really think about that, but he's in a top
10, not even in the 5.
Top 10 for sure.
You're picky as shit.
See, this would have been a good segue when you're like, oh, it comes in his eyes. I'm like, speaking of cum in their eyes, Clarice got some in the eye. But we missed it, but I still threw it out.
We're still throwing it out.
Yeah, dude, his performance was amazing. His posture, the way he speaks, and like had like that creepy low tone, but like it was like piercing, like
canty,
getting in your
a nice canty. Yeah.
And like it's what made him even cooler was that he was like a legit psychiatrist. So you try to analyze a psychiatrist, it's gonna be hard because he's already ahead of you. You know, he's like, so I think that sort of gave him more standout points as like a horror villain. And I don't think you can consider him a villain. He's in this movie. He's kind of an anti-hero.
That's exactly what he is, an anti-hero. And like what was awesome with dealing with him, it's all a mind game,
right?
Like it's not about sitting here and roasting each other. That dude will pick your life apart, and then when you step away, he'll go make random phone calls and find out where you live, find out what you've done, and like get all of your information, and then just be ahead of you,
right? While
you just think that.
Yeah,
it's
down.
I don't know, like he reminds me of like Sherlock Holmes in a way, where like you step in front of him and you already can tell like by what you're wearing, your posture, your demeanor, it already knows half of your story.
Yeah, and he's trained in that sort of thing, like to be observant of human behavior and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really cool thing.
Yeah, but in when I was younger, honestly, I thought the main character was Hannibal. Like it just feels that way. It revolves around him, and he's not even the villain. Like he's like a great supporting character. I always thought he was the main character.
And he got an Oscar for only being like in the movie for less than 25 minutes.
Is it 25 minutes?
Less than 20, like about 25 minutes. Oh, shit. He got an Oscar for that much time. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's true. Have you ever seen the show?
No, but that dude is replacing Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. But no, I've not seen the show.
That's another subject that I don't really want to touch right now.
We do have Harry Potter coming out this year, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about the whole Johnny Depp thing when we do the...
I think when it comes down to it, there will be more like information about it, and maybe more show what happened. Hopefully not. I mean, well, hopefully, but
because she's coming back to Aquaman, isn't she?
More than likely. Speaking of couples, happy Valentine's Day, everybody, because this is Valentine's Day.
Does it come on Valentine's Day?
No.
It is Valentine's
Today
Day.
is Valentine's Day because it's the anniversary. So I am spending Valentine's Day with you.
Yay.
We're going to do this, all right?
Yeah.
And once this camera goes off, more action will begin.
This is why you brought out the tequila.
Yes. Okay, please let go of my hand. Anyways, yeah. So going back to this. Dude, so Buffalo Bill.
Bro, the creepiest part about him was his voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, have you ever seen Brickleberry? Connie from Brickleberry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I started watching the show, I was like, dude, that's Buffalo Bill voice right there.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Puts the lotion on the skin.
Put the fucking lotion on.
It gets a hose again.
He also
in the code and the puppy. It's like,
he also sounds like what's his name? Ed from Ed and Eddie. Do you remember that cartoon?
Nah, I do remember the cartoon. Never watched it though.
Okay,
I never had.
Well, disregard that.
It was Nickelodeon, right?
It was Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it was Cartoon Network.
That's all the same shit. Cable show that I never had as a kid. Yeah, that's not going into my depressing life. No,
let's move on. From that.
Great voice.
So he's a great voice. He was, and he didn't have that much screen time too. He's barely in it. And one of the cool things, one of the cool like examples of great editing to me was at the very end, where like you see the FBI outside of what they think is Buffalo Bill's house,
Mm.
and like ready, and then the doorbell's ringing, and like it cuts back to like you think that the FBI is out there,
Yeah, and
but
she's
when you open
inside.
the door, it's
and-
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Dude, I love it when films do that. Where there's also Saw does that too. You remember in Saw? I don't remember which one it was, but they were like, "Oh, we're about to break into the warehouse." They break into a warehouse, and they're like, "We don't see you on the cameras." Turns out 2 different places. And-
Yeah, I think
but the way it's shot, it's
3 or
like
4, one of those. But yeah,
yeah, it's like I love that kind of type of editing.
Yeah.
So when like it's I don't know.
I'm glad you brought up Saw because there was a part that reminded me of Saw. Do you remember where like he switches bodies and he's in the ambulance and they think that it's the cop?
Yeah.
And he rises up and just takes off the cop's face. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit, yeah.
Because it reminds you of at the end of Saw where like he just stands up. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool too.
Let's go back to Naked Horses. Dude,
Goodbye
Jay and
Horses.
Silent
Yes,
Jay.
let's do it.
No, Naked Horses.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
When Jay does it outside
was
of
Clerks
the
2.
No, Clerks 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was Jay and
Oh,
Silent
okay.
Bob.
I thought you were saying their movie.
No, it was Clerks 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not Strikes Back, but still dope.
Yeah, I still think about that scene too.
Yeah.
In a non-weird way.
You know, it's kind of weird.
A little bit.
a little
I feel weird just saying that now.
Yeah.
And like the more I say it's not weird, the weirder it gets. It's like the hole's getting deeper.
If you and me were Jay and Silent Bob, would I be Jay and you'll be Bob?
I can do that. I can be Bob.
You could be Bob?
I can be Bob.
Yeah?
Just kind of like just let you do your thing and then kind of come out when I have to.
Smoke a cigarette in the corner, just
Let's do it.
only talk once in a while?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I think so.
You know, less is more.
This is more.
So going back to the aesthetics of the film, I hate to sound like this, like those film snobs and shit. But
You are a film snob.
I'm not a film snob.
You are
I will
a film
never be a film snob. But I hate saying words like
You hate calling yourself a critic.
I'm not a critic. Those are pretentious douchebags. I think. I'm just a dude.
You have a review channel. You're a critic.
I'm a dude like expressing like it's more of a subjective than like objective review. It's more casual, more general. Like, hey, this is cool. Watch that.
Yeah, producer, you hear critic, right? Sounds critiquey to
I
him.
will never be a douchebag critic. I will just be myself with some jokes about actors in the movie.
Okay, sure. That sounds like a critic.
Now, I lost my train of thought now.
Yeah. I
What
know.
the fuck, you son of a bitch. All right, so I hate to say words like mise en scène or cinematography, but there were a lot of good shots in this movie. Like where you see Hannibal, like his head is shadowed out, but you see his hands, he's sitting in a cell. That was a cool shot. And then like one of their other interactions where like you see it through Hannibal's like perspective and like she's coming to the glass and you see Hannibal's reflection on the left. That was a really cool shot.
Dude, director of photography never gets the credit for.
Yeah.
Most people won't ever, unless you're part of the industry or worked with the people. You'll never understand or appreciate these kind of people who they'll be like, you know what? It's like, director, this would look cool if we did,
Yeah, dude, DP's got to do the camera and the
Dude,
lights.
Exactly. DPs are amazing. It's like when you look at some dope ass shit and you're like, this makes me hungry or horny. Yeah, that was a DP working.
I like how hungry and horny are interchangeable.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
They are.
No lie.
No lie. But yeah, no, they did an amazing job. The DP and his crew. This was just no wonder it got so many awards.
Yeah, it got like Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay. All this shit, like the main ones, they like snubbed them all.
No.
And I forgot Jodie Foster is from SoCal. So when I rewatched the movie, I haven't seen it like in 15 years. When I rewatched it last night, her West Virginian accent threw me the fuck off. I'm like, what the? She don't talk like this.
I
No,
will
that's
say
not
that the
Virginia.
accent.
But it threw me off. But I was like, I think that's just part of her character.
It didn't feel genuine. Like the accent didn't feel genuine to me. It didn't.
It took me out, but for a while I was like, wait, is she from SoCal? So I had to look it up. So I think she did good in that regard.
It reminded me of Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, how you had the accent in the beginning in Lethal Weapon 1, and then it went away, the Australian accent.
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
He had the Australian accent in Lethal Weapon 1, and then in Lethal Weapon 2 and on, the accent went away.
Kind of like with Princess Leia, how her British accent goes away. And
She had a British accent?
in the very beginning of like A New Hope. Yeah.
Huh.
I recognize your foul stench when you was brought on board.
Holy shit, you're right.
And I was like, wait, is that intentional or like? I'm pretty sure it was unintentional, but now the way I covered it was like she was mocking Grand Moff Tarkin.
Oh,
That's
okay.
just how I made it make sense to me.
That
to
makes
cover
sense.
up for Lucas.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because then, yeah, all right. That's true.
Dude, so
Have you seen any movies recently that at all is I feel like during that time we had a lot of like those suspense thriller crime like dramas at that time. I don't think I've seen any of those really recently. Like
Well, there was one that came out very recently. It was called The Little Things. Have you heard of it?
No, has that come out already?
Yeah, it came out.
Or did you see a screener? Because we've been getting screeners now.
Yes, but no, it came out in January.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Did you see my review for it? Because that's up now.
That was the.
I did a review for it.
I don't know. I just grab all your videos and just upload them and just leave them as is. I don't.
So you missed out on all my comedic hijinks?
The funniest part is that I know is
here we go.
the thumbnails that I make.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's terrible. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I
anyways.
draw little penises on his face in the thumbnails. So next time, download the thumbnails, zoom in, and you'll see little penises on his face.
Wait, is
I
that
do those.
Is that legit?
Huh?
Is that legit? I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Download your thumbnails and zoom in. You'll see a penis.
Okay.
Make sure you download the HD version though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm a little scared now.
Tell me about the little things.
Well, anyways, dude, it was sort of that same thing. Like, it was like a horror. Well, I don't say horror, but like psychological thriller and all
Okay.
that stuff. So it had those same kind of vibes.
Silence of the Lambs or
Silence
or
Lambs
something.
or like Seven, which is the far superior movie.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Thank you, Dad, for that incredible line. So I'm assuming you've seen Seven.
I have. Yes, of course I've seen Seven.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Who was in the movie? The Little Things.
So it was with Denzel Washington, Rami Malek of Bohemian Rhapsody, and
I like me a Denzel.
and Jared douchebag Leto was being a sleazy creeper, which I'm assuming he was just kind of being himself, but you got to pay to do it.
Yeah. You see, Jared, I'm on and off about Jared Leto.
Like, I know he could be a good actor, but I just don't like whatever he's in. Like, I'll take that back. I liked him in American Psycho, where he gets killed. Do you remember that part where
Yeah.
like Christian Bale's doing the dance? He's like, "Hey, Paul."
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. It's like, is it they put him in those roles because he does best in those roles, but he's not really like them? No, he's
I
probably
mean-
a douchebag in real life.
I
Is
mean,
he?
he can be versatile. Actually, I did see him at work one time, and he like looked straight up like a hobo. And I was gonna go up to him, but then like he had those vibes like, "Oh, don't bug me" vibes. He put on his fucking sunglasses at night, like the song, and I was like, okay,
Well, he just doesn't want people to bug him, which I bet it happens all the time.
But
I mean,
if I
30
didn't-
30 to second 30 minutes 30
sec-
seconds to Mars fans. Yeah, like
I don't
that.
know, it would like he looked like I said, like a hobo, and like that was intentional so people don't go up to him. So, and I wouldn't have known it was him until one of the TSA dudes like, "Oh, hey, there's Jared Leto." I'm like,
Huh.
"Oh shit, okay."
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, yeah, that movie was not fun for me. But as irony would play out, or coincidence, I'm not sure. Our special guest producer was actually in The Little Things.
No shit. Ben,
Yeah.
were you in the movie?
I was.
Yeah,
He was. Like what did you do?
I play a cop in the third act.
You-
I'm on screen for a few.
You do not look like a cop.
I look like a
You look like a fun cop, like a Seth Rogen cop.
You're like a Seth Rogen cop.
I was trying to do his laugh.
Yeah. So did you punch Denzel? Did you cuff him?
I did not punch Denzel. I was on,
Did not punch.
I was on set with all three of those guys.
You were on set.
But I only worked for a couple days on the movie.
All right, so be
someone
honest.
did.
What like impression did you get from Jared Leto? Like, did you get that sort of like pretentious like diva vibe?
I didn't.
Did not.
I kind of only saw Jared Leto from a distance.
Oh, okay.
So you saw him. How far of a distance did you see Jared Leto?
I mean, closest I got was probably like 30, 40 feet.
30, 40
He
feet?
was on, we were shooting outdoors at night, and so they kind of
Outdoors at night.
all three of the guys, they drove them to set in like an SUV,
Uh-huh.
and then they got out of the SUV and went up into their spot on camera. But it
They
was
so they never let you close to him, right? Just the.
not Jared, but I don't feel like I wouldn't have been allowed to. Because Rami came up to me and the other guy playing a cop and like made some small talk with us for a little bit, but that was back at base camp. I didn't see Jared until I got onto set. I don't know if you can hear me that well.
I can hear you.
I'll fix it in post.
But yeah, I had some opinions about Jared Leto for a while too, just because
Yes.
I really don't like his Joker.
fucking hell.
Yes.
Stick
I love
the
this guy.
webcam. Come over here. I want you to sit next to me.
Okay, hold on.
I want you guys to meet.
We're on the wide
I want you guys to meet our producer. I want you to tell us all about your experience with this movie.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, everybody.
It's
Say hi, Ben.
It's,
Cleaver.
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 It's
You
spelled
don't
weird.
even have a V in it though. Is
No,
it?
it's German.
Cleaver.
It's German.
That's dope.
Hard to spell, easy to say. Hey, everybody. It's old buddy Ben. Yeah, no, I
Tell me
worked.
about Jared Leto.
So yeah, it was an interesting experience for me because I was on set on The Little Things. I never talked to Jared Leto, but I went in knowing like I'm a huge Batman fan.
Yes.
Really did not care for Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker, and as an actor myself and going in, you know. For the longest time, Jared Leto was just one of those people you make fun of on the internet, right?
Yeah.
They're not a
Always.
real person. They're just somebody you make fun of and rail against online. And then, you know, I'm on set. I'm actually physically looking at the guy. I'm, 40 feet away from him, but he's working. The poor guy. It's the scene where he's just like drinking out of the
little
to-go
thing.
cup and like laughing.
Where he's escaping the roof.
Yeah, it's where Denzel's on the roof trying to get out, and Jared Leto's just across the street, like laughing at him, drinking out of a big gulp or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we're in North Hollywood. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and it's cold. It's in November in Los Angeles, which is chilly. You know, it might be 50 degrees, maybe 55 outside, and they just they had the setup, and they just shot him like drinking and laughing for like an hour and a half. They would just have him standing there like drinking and laughing, and then they'd cut, then they'd reset the lights, they'd reset the camera, then they'd drink and laugh again. And I realized, I'm like, oh, this is what his work is like, and this is a little bit miserable. And I'm looking at this human being who I was like, what a stupid ass Joker, you know? And I'm looking at him work, and I'm like, oh, he's an actual person. Like, yes, there's all this stuff where he like rented an island and had a cult of women or whatever it was. And
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you not heard that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
He literally called it a cult. He's like, this is the Jared Leto cult. Come to this island and spend a weekend with me for $1,000 or however much it was.
Did he call it Mars?
No, he didn't.
No.
And it took more than 30
seconds.
seconds to get there. But it was funny. The experience for me, just being an actor and in a sense, I know I had a very small role in the film, but in a sense, now being a colleague and a coworker, so to speak, looking at this guy doing this thing that's really miserable to do. Just do the same thing over and over again in the cold, in the dark, while everybody else runs around and does stuff, and you just have to stand there and wait for it. And it's a little miserable. And I realized, oh, he's a working guy. And then I thought about it. I'm like, with the whole Joker thing, that some of that was him. And there was the stuff behind scenes where he was like mailing people dead rats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like a lot of that stuff was probably somebody up in an office at Warner Brothers being like, oh, the Joker should have tattoos and the Joker should do this and that. And he should have metal teeth and all this kind of stuff.
Wait, and didn't they cut like half of the shit he filmed? Didn't they cut half of it out?
Yeah, something like that. So I and then I had to think about it as like a lot of that Joker stuff. Some of it was him, some of it was out of his control. And he's a guy that he's been in the spotlight for years. Like I love Requiem for a Dream, as disturbing as it is. I love Requiem for a Dream.
Well, because it's disturbing is what makes it awesome.
Right.
So raw.
And he is a very talented guy musically and as an actor, and being in that position for such a long time, you're bound to get a little weird, I think. So by no means do I think, oh yeah, he's just a totally normal guy who you could go out and have a beer with, because I think he's weird and artistic to begin with. And then on top of that, you add in all this success and all this access to everything you could possibly want. It's the same reason why so many child actors get so screwed up, and when they become adults, some of them are solid. And
I'm not a child actor.
But so I did develop some, I don't know if I would call it sympathy or empathy, but just maybe some understanding of Jared Leto, and now I kind of feel bad for being like, what a fucking joke as the Joker, But yeah, it was an interesting experience for me. I still think he's probably a weird guy, but it's working in the industry has gained me a lot of I think, healthy respect for people, where I think the internet age has taken a lot of that out of the picture for everybody because, again, it's just somebody to make fun of online.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they normalize trolling on somebody you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, and you forget at the end of the day that they are just a dude just trying to work.
It's true. And
I still hate him though, but yeah.
Yeah, and granted, he's a dude who's got all the money in the world and, can afford to be a weirdo.
Yeah.
But would any of us be any different if we were in his position?
Dude,
I
he's
might have.
weird and he's not even rich.
See, I can only get weirder then.
All right, back to Silence of the Lambs.
Thank you.
Wait, but I think the big question we all have here is, can you confirm that I am indeed cooler than Jared Leto?
I would say with the comparative
Please
amount
be
of
honest.
time
Please
that
be
I've
honest.
spent with both of you,
Please be honest.
you've definitely spoken to me more.
There you have it, folks.
There you go.
There you have it. Fuck you, Jared. I am cooler than you. And then we spent like 20 minutes talking about him. So at the end, he does win. I don't care.
All right.
Hashtag Jared Leto.
All right. So back to this. Where are we with the show?
What movie is this that we're talking?
Okay, we are now back to Silence of the Lambs. Are we done? Did we hit all our points?
I hit most of them I wanted to say.
We talked about Naked Bill, the Naked
Buffalo,
Ponies. What else?
the
Jay and
cinematography and
Jay-
the editing.
Jay and Bob. Jay doing his tuck dick stuff. We talked a lot about tuck dicks.
A lot of dicks today.
A lot of
We
dicks.
don't dick
today.
around over here.
You don't dick around. Anthony Hopkins, great. Who else? No, I think we're wrapped. Come and Face thing was also
Coming
the
face
name.
thing. Well, I guess real quick though, there was some I did wanted to mention.
What?
So do you know how you first see Clarice and she goes into like the psych ward? It totally had some like Arkham Asylum vibes to me.
Oh my God, yes.
And
The beginning.
Yeah,
when you're
when I was
walking through?
like, I know Arkham's been around longer than the movie and stuff. I know that, but like watching it, like now I'm like, oh cool, like that's the vibes that Arkham should have.
Yeah, you're getting the cast of characters as you're walking through. You have the Hannibal's doctor, the security people. You have the Hannibal's neighbor. They also talk about her mentor, all in that small little walk through. It's like it was.
And for like a millisecond, I'm like, oh, which Batman villain is that? I'm like, oh wait, no, this is Silence of the Lambs. And then the whole like her like trying to talk to him and he actually gets up in her head. It was reminiscent of Harley and Joker as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was cool. Even though, like I said, that. Well, Harley Quinn came out in the cartoon, I think around the same time as the movie.
No way.
Yeah, she came out in the cartoon first.
I think it would have been a couple years after, because I think Silence of the Lambs was what,
91.
91.
And the show came out like in 92. And I think she showed up like 90, like the second.
She showed up in the first season.
Yeah.
The first season.
But I don't know if it was just some random article, but I heard that like Harley, there was some kind of inspiration from Silence of the Lambs involved in her creation, wasn't there?
I don't know about that. Paul Dini was the one who.
Well, that's the thing though. You
created
can't trust Wikipedia because you can edit Wikipedia, but I think I
her.
might
Well,
have
you
read
also have
that.
to cite your sources though too.
Yeah, it's true. Just true. Just very true. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and believe that Harley Quinn is inspired by Silence of the Lambs. That's just gonna be my input. Go ahead.
Well,
If you want to correct me, drop a comment because we're snobs for engagement.
please engage with us. I need friends. I don't like this guy anymore.
No, I hate this guy at this point. I just
Why?
show up to birthday parties for the food.
And I spike his drink every time. He does not notice. Wait, no, I spiked my own drink on accident. Well, with that being said, we are going to wrap up today's show. So thank you guys for listening/watching. You can find us on all available podcast platforms, including, all the main ones.
Yeah.
And once again, I am Detective Artemis.
I'm Journey.
And we drink and we watch things.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy anniversary.